Hi everyone, thanks for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to be laser engraving a thermal maple cutting board. I sourced these from a wholesale supplier in Quebec. These thermal maple are a little bit different than walnut. They do have the same color, but the thermal maple is infused with honey and coffee, which is pretty cool. And yes, they do have some sort of yellow tinge when you wash the boards, but keep in mind they are not toxic at all. This is a more eco-friendly board. I'm just going to measure the distance between the board and the laser head, and I'm going to measure the board within the juice groove, not from the outside of the board. So now I am making a square on Lightburn here. It's going to be the exact measurements of the board. I am now lining up the square to where the laser is positioned. And now I'm going to grab my design and center it into that square. Now I will press frame. Okay, so that's a little bit off. So I'm going to remeasure again. Now I'm going to adjust it by a little bit here. And I'll do the exact same thing again. Line up the square with my laser, making sure the logo is in there centered as well. And we will frame it again. Okay, so that looks great. Now here are my engraving settings. I use 200 for speed, 45 for max power, 35 for min power. I do fill shapes individually for this design as it is quicker than doing it all together. Now I'm going to check the preview and see how long it would take, and I just want to double check to see how the engraving will engrave. Now let's get our machine ready with the water on, air on, and then we'll be ready to go. Now let's send this to the machine. So now this is done, and it took roughly 25 minutes to engrave, and it turned out amazing. It was such a beautiful day, so I cracked open the garage door, and now I'm just going to go ahead and sand this. Now that the sanding is complete, I am just going to rinse it off. I am going to use some soap on this. As you can see, I do not submerge the piece of wood. That will ruin the board and crack it, and it will warp as well. So definitely do not submerge it. Now I'm going to pat it dry. Now I'm going to leave it on this towel to completely dry on its own, and then we still have one more step left to do before we pass off to the customer. Now it's time to add the shine. I'm using King's Fleet cooking board wax that I purchased from Amazon and using this sponge applicator to apply the wax. In my previous videos and for the past 5 years, I have always used food grade mineral oil, but the disadvantage of using that is having too much waste, and having too much oil means the more it costs. I will admit this is the first time using this wax and it takes a while to apply, and now having done it, going forward I probably wouldn't necessarily apply it directly to the engraving as it doesn't appear nice, but maybe I was using too much. What I didn't film after this was me wiping the board with a clean cloth to make it nice and smooth to touch. My customers love my boards and have ordered multiples, and so I always need to make sure everything is to my standards and then some. Thank you for watching my video. I hope some of these tips have helped you in doing your next project. See you next time.